What I'm worried about, and what the public is worried about, is the self-monitoring of the regulatory system. The Environment Agency have had a severe reduction in their capacity, their staffing and their financial resources. Can you give us a commitment that this will not impact on both their licensing and permitting regime and monitoring of any fracking?
I don't see why it should. From everything I've heard about this is that there is an enormous amount of regulatory hurdles that companies have to go through. Arguably, we're making it too complicated. You've got licensing processes, planning processes, environmental processes, a whole series of licenses. That's why we set up the Office of Unconventional Gas, to try and help companies through this. I think in the end, this debate will only be won or lost when there are some wells in Britain carrying out unconventional gas recovery, and people can see, as I believe it is, that this can be done cleanly, without environmental problems, and it can have benefits for the community and benefits for our actually, interestingly, not just benefits for our industry and the potential to have secure gas, but also there may be some environmental benefits, because of course we're going to go on using gas in our homes for cooking and heating, and if that gas has been produced here without having to be brought halfway around the world, that actually is good for the environment.
But Prime Minister, you're asking the public to take an awful lot on trust.
Well, no, I'm not asking
you
to
just
take
said yourself that we need to carry the public with us. So
yes.
Why was the shale gas rural economic impacts report so heavily redacted as published by DEFRA, and will you ensure that an unredacted copy, particularly as relates to the social impacts and the impact on housing, safety such as flares, will be posted on the website unredacted at the earliest opportunity before any fracking licenses?
I'm very happy to look at that. Just to clarify, in terms of self-monitoring seismic activity, this does happen, but companies lose their permits if they make any mistakes and get shut down. HSE does spot checks, and this is the same system that has been used elsewhere. But I'm happy to look at all these detailed questions about reports and the rest of it. I mean, from everything I've seen, I don't believe this is an industry in danger of under-regulation.
With the greatest respect, Prime Minister, it's not coming to Whitney anytime soon.
I would be very happy if it did.
If the water company is not consulted, Prime Minister, no one knows at what point the chemicals are taken out of the water, and whether the groundwater pipes transporting the contaminated water to some kind of well to be stored 20 miles round trip away by pipes that, as you know, freeze in North Yorkshire, because we had this problem and we had massive fines 4 years ago. There are all sorts of potential dangers there, that it's too late after the licence has been granted.
Well, the point I'd make is that there's an MOU with industry and water companies already to consult early on. I think that answers that point. And of course, look, any of the actions which you're describing, these would likely to be illegal, and companies would immediately lose their licence. I mean, I think we've all got to be, clear. My view is, if shale gas can be recovered safely in an environmentally protected way, and local communities can benefit, then we should do it. I think part of the problem, again, stand back and think of the big argument. I find some of the green groups on this, frankly, they are anti-shale gas for the simple reason that it's gas. It is a carbon-based fuel. They cannot bear the thought of another carbon-based fuel rearing its ugly head, and they are opposing it with a sort of religiosity, which I think is, frankly, wrong. And so my view is, let's be practical, sensible people. If we can recover gas onshore in a safe way, let's do it. If we can't, obviously we can't.